Boom, monkeys, and we are live. Welcome back to the Crypto Boogie channel. Of course, this is my first stream since I was taken down. Thank you guys for coming back. We're gonna keep it kind of simple today. We're gonna hit up a little bit of the Bitcoin chart. I definitely want to check out Illuvium and some EHAC. So those are definitely on the list. Now, my homie here, Mechanics, made a good statement. Back from the dead. Let's go. Hey, you better believe it, man. I am zombified and ready to go, homie. I'm glad you found me. I didn't think anybody's going to pick up my freaking doggone live stream. But nevertheless, I am on a good momentum forward. And let's keep thrusting this shit forward, son. Let's keep thrusting this shit forward. Now, last time I got taken off air, I was showing off these suckers. Well, I wasn't showing them off, but I was talking a lot about freaking I was doing small reviews on weapons, things of that nature, or rifles, better stated. And as per YouTube's policies, you cannot be holding any weapon while you're on, not any weapon, any gun while you're on live stream. So, yeah, that's what we had going, man. Mechanics, how you doing this evening? How you rocking it? Well, on a different note, I did a little bit of early Christmas shopping. I got me a couple of freaking uppers, old school parts kits, AR-15 style, freaking Colts and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to show that shit on Rumble because YouTube freaking sucks. Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Side cats, if you guys got any questions, hit it up on the chat. Let's dive right into the freaking charts, man. Let's see where freaking Bitcoin's going right now, son. Vamos a ver. Adelante. And here we are looking at the Bitcoin chart. Let me go ahead and put it on the daily. Take off this EMA ribbon. Now, this is not something that I have seen. Well, I mean, I've shown you cats this on video. You guys can have seen it in my prior streams. Once I upload the rest of my videos, you're noticing that we're stuck in between a wedge before this ascending triangle, and we're going in an upward fashion. Of course, I just finished talking to Juan from the DGen Roundtable. Shout out to the DGen Roundtable and everybody in there. And I was telling them, like, look, man, we've got the 64-day low on Bitcoin and a day high of 59. But I told them, don't you think that this would be more plausible? So I pulled my freaking measuring tool currently to where we're at now at about 52 days. And that's 53 days. And that's slightly more conservative than your conventional 60 days. So I thought about it more, and it makes sense to go with a 64 instead of a freaking instead of a damn 53, because these are 60-day cycles, and it is closer to the 60-day cycle, give or take. You know what I mean? So it seems that we've already tried dipping to the lowest, and that was on the 64-day cycle on this ascending wedge, as you guys can see here. You know what I mean? As we approach to the upside. Now, I did draw in this ascending triangle within this ascending triangle, and I'm assuming once we get in here, that's when we'll get more volatility. And as you can tell, this freaking doggone trend line is helping us push upwards, and it's probably going to take us into this ascending triangle. Mind you, again, we did start a new 60-day cycle, so it would not freaking surprise me if we continue on this trend to the upside. Let's see where we're at on the VPVR. Where we're at right now, we got a pretty decent amount of support unless we come down here to about 35, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. That's for the VPVR. Now, I know, I have to mention this because then I'll forget it. If you guys want to get freaking TradingView and you guys want to do technical analysis, you guys can definitely hit me up for a freaking doggone, I'm sorry, I had too much McDonald's coffee, for a consultation. I'll help you guys out with TA. And right now, TradingView has, I think, a 70% discount. So if you cats want to hop on board, man, this ain't a bad deal, man. 70% off. I might go ahead and freaking sign up again. Get a better deal than where I'm currently at. I had to mention that because then I would forget it. Now, if we continue looking at Bitcoin, the day high that we got was on 59. And if we keep trending to the upside, I think once we get about here around December 2nd, give or take, if we keep going to the upside, we should eventually compromise this 59-day high, which is the highest we've had it for the entire year. And that price value was at oh, dude, I take that back. We just recently compromised it here on November 23rd. And we got a high of about 37,536, but this is in the new cycle. So on average, it'd probably be around December 8th or 9th, possibly even the 10th, when we'll end up beating this recent high that we have here at about 38,492. So temporarily, we can put this freaking doggone arrow to the downside over here, because that's the current high that we're at right now. Now, if we take our measuring tool and we pull from 64 all the way to the current high, that would put us at about 10 days, give or take. That's about 10 days if we measure that correctly. So that's not a bad deal, man. We're probably going to end up even going higher in this. We've already compromised the last freaking 60-day cycles high. So this doesn't surprise me that we continue going to the upside. You know what I mean? Now, let's go check this out on the weekly, and let's see how BTC is doing on the weekly. And as you guys can see, BTC seems pretty aggressive to the upside at the time being. We've continued with doggone green candle after green candle. That'll put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles in a row so far. Mind you, we're about to start a new week, and of course, Bitcoin is on UTC time. So this seems pretty bullish. We'll probably continue that way. One of the greatest tools that I do like using on my 4-hour chart is none other than the EMA ribbon. And let's see what the EMA ribbon entails. And the EMA ribbon is pretty much keeping Bitcoin up on the 4-hour chart. We are seeing a minor dip within halfway of the EMA ribbon, but we're probably going to bounce back up, and we're going to hop inside this freaking doggone trend line right here within the ascending triangle that we have within this box, which is bullish, of course, cats. I was talking to my homie Tex-Mex the other day, and he was asking me, hey, man, I need a freaking pullback. And I told him, bro, I don't think we're going to pull back anytime soon, because we just started a doggone freaking new 60-day cycle. And as you cats can tell, the EMA ribbon on the daily, man, is pretty spread out, which entails that we have a shitload of support to the upside. Now, from my understanding, we should be having the next FOMC meeting around December 13th or the 14th, give or take, I think, if I am correct. And I don't think we're going to get an interest rate hike, man. I don't think we're going to get an interest rate hike at all, for the reason being that, dude, we're approaching the holidays. And you know damn well the big companies don't want anything to do with interest rate hikes, especially during the holidays. So that's probably not going to occur, at least not anytime soon. You guys heard me say this a million times before. If we do get an interest rate hike, it'll probably be around income tax season. You know what I mean? Now, hopefully this doesn't get me banned. Now, this is not a rifle or a gun, but nevertheless, it is a weapon. This is a Microtech. I think it's called the Crosshair, man. Look at that sucker. That sucker's beautiful, man. If I can't show freaking weapons live here, why not do the next best thing, which is freaking blades, dude? This is a dope-ass freaking blade. You know what I'm saying? And this is a Microtech Crosshair, and it is in the OD green finish. I'm glad I had it next to me, cats. At least I can show you something interesting aside from freaking boring-ass charts. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Let's check out the chats. Vamos a ver qué dicen los chats. And we got, hey, man, Tex-Mex, I was just talking about you, man. ¿Qué onda, Boogie? What's up, homie? Jack and shit, bro. I am back, son. I am back. I just mentioned, you were asking me about when we were going to end up getting a pullback, and I had mentioned, I don't think we're going to get a pullback anytime soon. The badass thing, though, is that we are getting a pullback on Hex, son. We are getting a pullback on Hex. You guys know my theories on Hex, on EHEX and PHEX. But recently, Dollar Cost Crypto, or DCC, or Miguel, he had a stream with Coast. That day, I think my YouTube channel got banned, so I didn't get to review it. I don't know if that stream entailed possibilities to onboarding to the Pulse Chain ecosystem. So I would have to review that video. What do you cats know about freaking Coast or anything like that, man? Does that have anything to do with freaking onboarding new freaking monies into freaking the Pulse Chain ecosystem? And does it simplify it? I know Coffee's talked about some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then we got my amigo Zenith. What's up, Boogie? Glad to catch you on the first live one back. Yeah, man, I'm glad to be back, son. I'm glad to be back, man. Do me a favor, cats. Zenith, do you have a YouTube channel? I don't think you do, man. Well, regardless, try to follow Zenith here, man. Freaking Zenith is a squared away cat. He also does technical analysis. And next Sunday, if I am correct, I am going to be live on the DGen Roundtable with Zenith, Agent J, and I think his name's Williams, another Marine, another squared away Marine that's on there. You know what I'm saying? Me and Zenith usually end up talking up a lot of freaking weapon shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I do enjoy having talks about firearms. That is one of my passions. I do train people on how to use firearms, and that type of shit gives me a hard on, bro. Believe it or not, man. Believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Hexaco Space Force is my personal cart. I'm part of the DGen Roundtable where I stream the most. Roger that, homie. And I noticed that you cats were doing like a book review. You know what I'm saying? That's always some squared away shit. So let me go back to the Bitcoin chart. Let's see if I missed anything on this sucker. No, pretty much entails all the data that I wanted to drop on you cats. Let's throw in a possible, you know what? Let's throw in a possible Elliott wave on this bad boy. See if we see anything on here. Maybe a micro Elliott wave. So if we come down here, Zenith, you and I talked about that day 88. If we come down here to about October 16th, that could be an ugly ass freaking first position to the Elliott wave from 0 to 1, and that would put us over here to about a 3, and then we could pull back to the downside over here on this area because we do have some support over here, and then we would probably rocket ship a little bit higher into a wave 5, and it would not surprise me if we go up to $44,000 before the end of the year. That's not surprising. That's very possible for Bitcoin. And I think this cycle, Bitcoin's going to be a little bit more aggressive. Mind you, this Elliott wave is moon math. This is only assumption, and this is a weak-ass Elliott wave that I'm doing. Could that be a possibility? Yes. I'm big on Elliott waves. I like running Elliott waves. Charlie, I think he's a big Fibonacci type guy. But Elliott waves is my thing. That's basically what I like to run. Now, if we come down here and we go over here to the RSI, we do have a little bit of divergence on the daily. But let's go over the weekly, see what we see. On the weekly, it seems somewhat bullish, though. So if I grab this trend line and I measure it this way, it does seem, I mean, it seems like we have some resistance, but nevertheless, Bitcoin does seem like it's going to the upside. And we did break out from this yellow line. This yellow line is no longer holding us down. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So now that we covered Bitcoin, let's go check out a little bit of freaking doggone Pulse Chain. Because I don't want to keep you cats freaking bored. TA is fucking boring. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only reason I like TA is because that shit makes you money, son. And if you guys ever read the book Market Wizards, I highly recommend you read that book, man. You read about so much damn heartbreak, man. And so many freaking mistakes when you let your emotions control you, especially if you're a trader. If you like to trade and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And then we got Mr. Let's go, Brandowski. Let's go, son. Let's go, bro. Let's check out a little bit of Pulse Chain, son. Let's see how the PLS is doing right now. Do I have that shit uploaded? I think I do. I got PLSX uploaded. Bear with me, cats. Let me prep you the freaking Pulse Chain chart. There you go. Let's prep that sucker. Share screen. Let's go to Pulse Chain. There you go. I like rocking wrapped pulse. And this is the data I got on Pulse Chain. We are getting a little bit of a pullback, which is dope. For you cats that have not acquired enough Pulse Chain, right now is a great buying opportunity. If we grab this trend line, this is on the daily, by the way, and we draw this trend line down this way, we could end up continue breaking to the downside, and I'm hoping we will. The next area of support that we do have for pulse chain is over here at 4 zeros and a 5480. And it would not surprise me that these green candles keep coming to the downside. Now, if I draw up a triangle here, because that is a pattern that's utilized a lot in freaking technical analysis. Where the hell am I freaking doggone? Where the hell am I freaking? Well, I don't have it here. Let me prep it for you cats. Got a triangle here. Now, I am noticing this here, but you do need to see a lot more activity. You know what I'm saying? We did come up over here to the upside. We almost touched the downside over here. It would have counted, but then we came back up. We broke through this freaking descending triangle. We went back up, and now we're breaking down through the descending triangle. And usually when I run descending triangles and descending triangles, I end up coloring them or filling them in so I don't get confused. Because, dude, believe me, bro, you'll get brain farts, especially when you have too much caffeine, bro. You will get freaking massive brain farts. At least I will. You know what I'm saying? So I like painting the sucker red because this is a descending triangle. And I'm going to insert this as red as well. That entails that we may be breaking down. And I'm hoping we come down here to about 4 zeros and a 5-4. No, I'm not going to say that you guys should short this shit. Absolutely not. I don't want to get you guys wrecked. I may end up shorting it a little bit. Freaking so I can get, I'm not going to use it. I don't use a lot of leverage, man. I can do like a little spot freaking short and stuff like that. Get a little bit more pulse chain, which is always good. And then I'll end up flipping that sucker for PulseX because I do want to get more PulseX. I am bullish on PulseX. Now, if you look at this blue freaking line over here, that would be the 10-day moving average. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not. It is the 50 that we're talking about. And if I stretch this out, that 50 is holding us up on the current candle. It is holding us up, but I don't think it's strong enough to continue holding us up. And then the one we have below is the 100-day moving average. Of course, the next area of support would be over here at 4 zeros and a 5-4 to be redundant. And let's activate our Bollinger Bands. And as you cats can tell, the Bollinger Bands are pretty wide open, man. So we do have distance to travel. You notice the bottom portion of this Bollinger Band, it lines up with these 4 zeros and a 5-4. So yeah, cats. There you go, man. That's where pulse chain is at, give or take. You know what I mean? Let's go over to Illuvium. Well, let's first look at the chats, see what the chats are saying. Jack and shit. Ain't got jack and shit on the chats right now. Let's go over to ILV. Let's see what ILV entails. I know you cats are bullish on ILV. I guess it's okay to mention this. Miguel was stating that we've got, quote me on this, I think he said that we've got about 30 to 38 weeks as an opportunity to stake our ILV. Not stake it, but to put it on the ETH ILV liquidity pool that they do have on the site. Of course, you would have to utilize SushiSwap to go ahead and establish that pool, make that pool up, and then go ahead and put it up on the website. Charlie has a different play. Charlie's play is to flip ILV, which is probably what I'll do because I like looking at the charts, and I think I'm pretty good at them. I'm not a Wall Street guy, you know what I'm saying? But I'll probably end up flipping a little bit of ILV so I could repothecate or cultivate my crypto. And this is what I got on ILV on the daily. And as you guys can tell, we do seem pretty damn bullish, man. From here to here, this could be a minor Elliott wave, you know what I'm saying? This is the daily again, to be exact, cats. And before we check out the Elliott wave, let's see where we at on our cycles. Okay, we pulled back around, no. So we would be on day 20 right now. Of course, we would have to start pulling back before we continue running, give or take, because usually altcoins run on 20-day cycles. It doesn't always work out that way, by the way. It doesn't always have to be 20-day cycles. On average, you will see 14 to 22s on average, but sometimes you'll get an anomaly, man, and you'll end up getting a freaking like a 13 or a 12 or something like that. If people are really bullish on that, man, it'll completely freaking discombobulate the way you were looking at the charts, mind you. Now, if we look at this here where we're at, and I do have a little freaking doggone Fibonacci retracement here. and we start applying a small Elliott wave, this would be portion 1, this would be portion 2, this would be the run up to the upside, which is the wave 2 to 3, and then a minor pullback, and then we're coming up to 5. Of course, if you guys know anything about Elliott waves, you know that the 2 to 3 is always supposed to be the strongest, and the wave 4 is never supposed to break below the wave 2. So it looks like it's meeting the elements of an Elliott wave, and we are hitting this resistance point of about 122 bucks. So usually what ends up happening, not financial advice, we could end up going into a wave, back up to a B wave, and then come back down to a C wave before we start something new. Charlie was saying that we may end up breaking up over here to about, let me see. Let's look at the history on this shit. We got 130 over here. Yeah, this area right here, about 135, give or take. Let me go ahead and draw a ray for you cats. About 135. Let's make this sucker red, and I'll tell you why. We make this sucker red, and we hit this point, this would probably be a good area to sell some of your alluvium and then end up buying it on the way down, or when it finishes going down, so you can end up freaking cultivating your crypto. Do not do your entire bag, cats. Please don't do that. If you end up doing some of this, do like 10 to 20% of your bag of alluvium. Don't do more than that. This is not financial advice, and this data is only for moderate to like experienced traders. That's the advice I would give you, cats. And of course, none of this is guaranteed. You know what I mean? There's no way to tell what the market could hold for us. If we do hit up here to 138, I probably will sell about, I don't know, man, probably 10% of my bag. I'll sell 10% of my bag, and I'll continue holding it in hopes that we get up over here to about, let me see. I would hold it maybe, no, wait, not 203. That'd be way too much, man. Probably about to 155, give or take, before we end up pulling back, and I'll end up repothecating a portion of my bag. You know what I mean? Now, if we activate the Bollinger Bands, what does this entail? We do have room to run to the upside because we do have this red line here, which we could make contact with. That would not surprise me, and that would put us at about 129. Of course, if we make it all the way up over here to the white line, which is usually never the case, and usually when we touch the white line, we immediately shrink back. So that would be here at about 138 bucks, give or take. If we look at the RSI on the daily, we are at about 70%. I usually like buying at about 50 or below. That's my favorite places to buy. Of course, if you're lucky, man, you'll end up getting it down here in the 30s. For the longest time, man, dude, frickin' look at all this shit. Let me go ahead and frickin' take off these Bollinger Bands. Look at this elapsed time right here, man. From about, I would say about here all the way to here, man. You had about, nah, man, even more, dude. Look at this shit. You had about a good 104 days, man, of buying opportunities for alluvium. Of course, we discount this area where we rally a little bit, but majority of the time it's been trending here at about 40 bucks or $39. I had some of you cats message me on doggone Telegram asking me what would be a good place to buy. And I look at the lows. If the chart tells me that we can go down, for example, when I was looking at the chart over here, we can go down to a 37, dude. But if you're at a 39, dude, take advantage of it. I mean, don't always wait for the bottom. When I bought my Fame, the chart was telling me it was going to go down to about 38 cents. But when I saw it hit 40, dude, I bought some. Because what if it doesn't come down that way? And that area tends to be pretty protected. And as you guys can tell, if you look within this freaking rectangle here, especially if I draw it, look at this shit. If you look at this area right here, somebody or a company was protecting this shit. Or a lot of buyers were protecting this shit. So there was no way, man. There was no way it was going to break down any lower. I was kind of hoping we'd get it down here to 36 bucks. and that didn't end up happening. But I mean, 39 is great. I did get some at 39, and mind you, majority of my Illuvium, I did get it for free, cats, utilizing the Coinbase debit card. Let's go over here to the 4-hour chart and utilize my favorite EMA ribbon. And dude, it's riding the EMA ribbon like a champ. Look at this shit. In this area, we did end up compromising it, and that was around what, November 18th, but then we ended up rallying to the upside. So we got a shitload of support. It does seem like we're going to continue in that fashion. If I grab this freaking drawing tool over here, and if we look at the patterns of the EMA ribbon, it still entails that we may be going up, man. Know what I mean? So things are kind of bullish. If we get up here to 138, I'll probably sell a portion of my bag so I can go ahead and repothecate and get it at a lower price. Not financial advice, cats. Not financial advice, by the way. All right, let's look at the chat. Let's see what the chat's saying. Mr. Fang Crypto, just find you on Twitter, bro. Winning content. Hey, you know it, homie. You know it, homie. You came to the right place. Do me a favor, guys. Go ahead and like the video. I know we've got a total of 5 people viewing actively right now. Hit the like button. Dude, freaking doggone YouTube still doesn't let me share my links on freaking doggone Twitter or on Instagram. So give me a follow on Instagram. It's crypto_boogie. And then on Twitter, I am US_crypto_boogie. So make sure you cats give me a follow and give me a like, man. Like this video, share this video, share it with your friends. The more you guys share it, the more it motivates me to come on here and give you guys more data. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I get some free time, man, and I know this next coming bull run should give me some liberty, man, especially with the way I invested in this market. Dude, I want to drop some freaking hot-ass freaking weapon content for you cats. You know what I'm saying? Some hot-ass weapon content. So I love freaking running and gunning, man. And I love talking about weapons and shit. And I tried integrating this channel with freaking guns, but dude, freaking YouTube, they're a bunch of freaking, you know what I'm talking about. They're a bunch of a-holes, son. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what else we got on the charts, man. Of course, we got to check out the EHEX chart because I'm extremely bullish on EHEX. Me and Twinkie were talking about this a couple days ago. I was staking out some of my PulseX on 9-inch because, dude, I wanted to make a little bit of money off that. Of course, I'm glad I talked to Twinkie before I went ahead and I did that because, dude, I had gotten a little bit of FOMO. And, dude, it happens to the best of us. When you guys read the book Market Wizards, you're going to find out that even the most elite traders get FOMO as well. And I was about to stake half of my freaking PulseX, man, for freaking that 9-inch token. You get paid out in big bonus coin. I don't want to say BBC because it sounds gay. Yeah, I wanted to stake it out, man, for a couple months and shit like that, dude. And then Twinkie talked to me like, hey, bro, dude, like, pull back some, man. So I did about 20% of my PulseX bag. And me and Twinkie were talking, and he said, dude, like, what if Richard drops PulseX on doggone, to compete with freaking 9-inch? And, I mean, that would make a lot of sense if he dropped us some PulseX and permits us to freaking stake that shit. Or at least do a liquidity pool between PulseX and the conventional PulseX, so we can make some gains on that pool. And I think that would be freaking genius if we do that. Now, mind you, if we don't get an exchange listing of any of the freaking Pulse Chain coins, I think the predominant coin that's going to pump is probably going to be the E side versus the P side, because it's going to be a bitch to bridge over, man. And the fees are going to kill you, especially buying coins on freaking doggone Coinbase or Kraken. You got to pay the exchange fee. Then you got to pay the Ethereum gas fees to transfer it over to your wallet. And then from there, you still got to pay the bridging fees. So unless we get some type of token exchange or some token listed on a main exchange here, at least in the Western world, at least in the Americas, then, dude, I think EHEX should probably outperform PHEX. That is my opinion. Of course, I mean, the majority of Hexicans don't agree with me. But that is my analysis on the situation. Hopefully, I am wrong. I do want PHEX to do better than EHEX because, dude, gas fees are way cheaper over there. And I'd rather be running all my shit over there than freaking Ethereum side. You know what I'm saying? All right. Speaking of that, let's go over to the EHEX chart. And this is where we're at on the EHEX chart, man. And we're getting a badass pullback over here. You know what I'm saying? Currently, our value is at about 60% of a penny. Great buying opportunity. We're almost at support. If you look at this closely, you can clearly see that we did wick below the freaking white line. You know what I'm saying? We may end up touching it again, but nevertheless, man, 6-1 is not a bad price to get some of that EHEX, son. Will we break down lower? Hopefully. I hope we do, man, because, I mean, that gives us more buying opportunities. I don't think we'll end up doing a retracing method all the way down here to freaking 27%, or, yeah, about 27% of a penny. That's just not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. And if it does, man, I'll buy up a shitload of freaking EHEX, man. Let's see this sucker with the Bollinger Bands, man. EHEX does have room to travel to the downside. We've got this next area of support, again, as stated, at 54% of a penny. And then we've got over here at 51% of a penny. So, yeah, it can come down a little bit harder. And if it does come down harder, dude, I'm going to ape in. Of course, I may end up buying some more EHEX tonight. If we look at the MACD, we are somewhat bearish, but what are you cats noticing? If you guys understand a little bit about how the MACD works, it looks like we're about to cross lines or cross streams. If that red line comes below the blue line, then we'll end up going a little bit bullish. Of course, only time will tell. It will not happen tomorrow. It'll probably be around, I'd say around the 28th. Now, let's look at our 20-day cycles on doggone EHEX. If you look at the cycle on EHEX, I caught this low here at about November 21st. So let me pull this back a little bit. That'd be around November 21st, and we're starting a new cycle. And usually these cycles run from low to low. We went about 19 days, give or take. So if we take this measuring tool and we measure from here, on average, we should be getting a new low or a higher low. I'm assuming a new low on around December 6th. Now, I did draw up this trend line here, and I have 2 points of contact via the doggone freaking wicks. The first wick being over here. Let me see. Let me go ahead and adjust this for you cats. The first wick being here on October 25th, and the next wick being here on November 3rd. Now, what are you cats seeing? Off the bat, man, it's really simple. You guys can see this descending triangle formulating. So if we get this here, run it down this way, boom, we've got another descending triangle. Of course, I wouldn't really call this a valid descending triangle. Well, maybe it will be if we just count this side here. Let me see if I can adjust this for you cats. Let's see if I can make this work from wick to wick. You know what I'm saying? And we pull this up here. We do have somewhat of a valid descending triangle, for the reason being that we have made contact at the upside, and we've got contact with a bunch of wicks on the upside. We came down, we broke back in, and we're closing the final portion of the descending triangle. And on December 2nd, give or take, we should be approaching the end of this descending triangle. Of course, it could end up going more, and it'll be around the 15-day mark, which would be around, give or take, December 7th. Of course, we could end up going longer, all the way up to 20 days, and that would put us around December 11th, give or take. That's when we'll probably see our lows on EHEX to buy some more. Of course, something bullish happens on the 28th, which is when Richard Heart has his court meeting, and that is approximately 2 days away. We'll find out what's going to end up happening with that shit. We'll see what FUD happens. A lot of people are talking shit. They're saying that Richard is... Dude, I bullshit you not. I heard this shit. And listen to how stupid this shit sounds, man. People were saying, some cats are saying, I think it was Whale Chart or something like that. He's got like a little purple whale on Twitter. And this dude was saying that Richard intended to run to Russia. Are you freaking kidding me, man? Running to Russia? Do you have any idea what the KGB will do to Richard if he goes to Russia? You think Richard's stupid enough to go over there? And then Richard being the head of a whole freaking, of the biggest crypto freaking community and all freaking doggone crypto Twitter, man. Do you really think Richard's going to run to Russia? And he was saying that he was doing this in attempts to get away from the SEC. Dude, get the frick out of here, bro. Richard is not going to rush. You think he wants to spend a portion of his life protecting us and end up in a freaking gulag because he doesn't want to give out any data on freaking on his coins? That's just retarded, bro. The theories that some of these cats come with, man, it's just freaking retarded. Richard is going to escape to Russia, man. You know damn well the KGB will have a field day with him, man, if he was to do that shit. Well, I don't know if they're still called the KGB, but you know what I mean. The same element of what used to be the KGB. And you know they implement a lot of the same tactics because the people running that organization were from the Cold War era. And a lot of the tactics they used to utilize are the same tactics they're utilizing now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that shit's going to happen, dude. That wouldn't be smart of Richard to do. You know what I'm saying? All right, cats. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got to freaking review. Did we check out PulseX? Let's check out a little bit of PulseX. You know what I'm saying? And this is the PulseX chart, cats. Now, I was a little bit concerned with PulseX. I was kind of hoping this would happen, but nevertheless, like I was concerned in the fashion that we were going to end up dipping and the FUD was going to hit us hard because I was noticing this shit. Let me see if I can grab my drawing tool. This is PulseX on the daily. I was noticing this shit. We're coming up this way, coming down this way, coming up this way, coming down this way. And I was like, dude, we need to break down now. And I'm glad we did that. Why? Because if we came up over here, we made contact at the same position and we would come back down. What do we have there? We had Head and Shoulders, and we probably would have come down here to 4 zeros and an 11. Of course, I don't mind that. I'd like to buy a little bit more PulseX because I do have a decent amount of PulseX, but I want to get more, man. I want to get more. I do want to get a lot more PulseX. I think this is an underrated coin, and I do think that Ethereum will be launched on PulseX. It would only be smart of Richard to do that. You know what I'm saying? I've been barking up that tree for a while now. Now, what are we noticing on PulseX? We ended up going all the way down here to what about a 24-day cycle, which is rare, from low to low. Or was it a 24-day cycle? Those don't really happen a lot. And then we got a high as of recent around here. At about 12 days. So this would be a 12. We got a high at about a 12. Let's go ahead and mark that as 12. You know what I'm saying? So with that stated, how far could we run on PulseX before we get another dip or we get a lower low or a higher low? We run the sucker all the way up over here to day 15. That would be, again, around December 7th, give or take. On the worst case scenario, possibly around December 12th. That's when we probably get our next real dip on a freaking PulseX, if it's either to the downside or the upside, give or take. MACD is bearish, which I like because I like buying the shit out of this. And the badass thing about the freaking Pulse Chain ecosystem is that right now, even though the rest of the market is rallying along with Bitcoin, we're getting an opportunity to buy a little bit of freaking Hex, P-Hex, E-Hex, doggone PulseX, and for you cats that are a little bit degen, a little bit of the incentive token. You know what I'm saying? It gives us that extra window that we need to buy more of these coins. Other than that, not really much data on PulseX. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. See what else we got here. What else we got here? And of course, we will end the stream with a little bit of P-Hex. Let's see how P-Hex is doing. P-Hex is looking a lot like PulseX. We probably will make contact with this area of about 96% of a penny. I would not mind that. It would be dope if we come down here to this wick and get it at about 86% of a penny. I would be bullish about buying it in that area. And let's look at the 20-day cycles on this sucker. So this sucker ran from here to about 23 days. Very similar to PulseX, man. It's almost a freaking repeat. And if we run this all the way over here to about 14 days, that would put us around December 5th. If we go all the way to 20 days, that would be around December 11th. Now, I am noticing that the 10-day moving average is acting as an area of resistance for us. It's not really letting us break to the upside, and it's kind of pushing these candles in a downward fashion, which means we've got a little bit of weakness going on right now, which is a good thing. I do want to buy more of this shit. And if we activate our Bollinger Bands, we do have room to travel all the way down here to about 87% of a penny, about 80% of a penny. So yeah, man, we've got some buying opportunities inbound, which is absolutely healthy. It's absolutely fine, man. And the thing about the Hex community, bro, I got to give it to these cats, man. These guys are resilient. We're extremely resilient, and dude, we're probably going to do very well come this next bull run. Now, the area that we would get to once we get within this yellow box and this yellow line and this white line here, we would possibly be at the normal area where we usually trend at as far as Hex goes. Now, a badass area would be inside this box, which is about 2 cents, give or take. Now, one of the things that a lot of you cats forgot, including myself, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm guilty of this shit too, man, is that on your Hex side, man, don't forget about don't forget about your T-shares, man. Don't forget about your T-shares. I mean, E-Hex comes down, P-Hex comes down. That's a good buying opportunity for your T-shirts. You may want to ape in on those, man. Not financial advice. You want to secure that future, you know what I'm saying? And the badass thing about P-Hex is that you can do monthly T-shares versus your E-Hex side. I would only really recommend for new Hexkins to do those freaking annually. You know what I'm saying? Because the Ethereum gas fees are high unless you're an OG and you can afford to do them every single day. You know what I'm saying? So that pretty much covers it, cats. You guys got any questions? Algunas preguntas para mis amigos? Well, I'm hoping you cats enjoyed your Thanksgiving weekend. Spend time with your family. Spend some time with your family and stuff like that. We still got a couple more holidays coming inbound. We got Christmas and we got New Year's, man. So you guys enjoy your holidays. Don't get too freaking fat. A lot of my homies, a lot of my family members getting fat as hell, man. I'm still freaking dieting out here and fasting, son. How do I do it? I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I don't like freaking bread too much. I freaking love sweets and I love candy, man. But dude, I've had to keep myself freaking disciplined to stay away from that shit. I mean, I want to enjoy my freaking doggone crypto gains in the future, man, and not get all freaking fat. You know what I mean? Well, I appreciate you cats coming back here. Like the video, share the video, follow me on Twitter. Same name, US Crypto _Boogie. And freaking doggone just Crypto _Boogie on freaking Instagram. Here on YouTube, well, you guys got me on here. I'm also on Rumble, and that's just labeled as Crypto _Boogie. So that pretty much covers it, guys. And I will see you on the flip side later on this week. And next Sunday, you should see me on Degen Roundtable. Get your cats out. Zenith, see you later, homie. We'll talk soon.